So I have this bookmark from China that's very unique. Like, it's wood carved and everything, and it makes me feel special inside. What is up, guys? This is Big Man Chief Fan here. Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be doing a book rant. Yet another one. What am I doing with my life? Nothing. But anyway, what am I going to be talking about? Well, I'm going to be talking about what I normally talk about, what I've read, what I'm currently reading, and of course, some books I want to read. And as of right now, I'm just doing like a mini book haul because I've got like 5 or 6 books before like Christmas. Like, I'm gonna do like this big Christmas haul, but then beforehand but I feel like it's gonna be so big that I really should fit in like these 5 or 6 books that I've bought at like a Savers for like $10, so why not just do it? So anyway, enough of me rambling on what the video is going to be. Let's get into the actual video. So let's get into it. Okay, so before I actually talk about the physical copy books that I have with me, I want to talk about a book that I got from the library, and that is The Fire Next Time by James Baldwin. I was going into this book, okay, if you saw my Goodreads review, you should probably know that I absolutely adored this. But I knew it was nonfiction going into this, but I did not expect it to be more. I thought it was going to be more about racism. And while racism is a very common theme in the book, it's so much more about religion, which I feel like is a topic that I felt like needed to be explored in this way. And lo and behold, James Baldwin had his ideas all along, and what do you know? They're near copies of my views. But I absolutely loved it. It's like, seriously, I was nearly crying at the end saying, "Yes, Baldwin! I can't believe you're saying this! Yes!" Because what he's saying is so true. God is not just like this big man big white guy sitting in the sky in this chair of clouds. He's the idea of love and passion that is inside all of us. And he's probably the most forgiving figure of all time. So really, there's no point into hating one another just because God is love, and that's really the purpose of this book, is to prove, not really prove, but kind of like establish that God is love, because there really needs to be no proving of it. It's kind of common knowledge if you think about it. But anyway, that's just my views on religion, and I felt like James Baldwin put his interpretation of that perfectly. His writing was fantastic, and of course I gave this a 5 out of 5. Like, it was purely for, like, it wasn't like, I was about to say it was purely for me, but he didn't, like, write it for me. It's like, 2 Graham, thank you for inspiring me to write this book. No, it wasn't like that, but, he didn't even know me because he's been dead for a long time, long before I was born. Anyway, I'm going off track. The Fire Next Time, read it, it is so good. It's one of the greatest essays. Can I call it an essay? I think it's a little too long to call it a single essay. But, like, it's nonfiction, but it's not really like a narrative nonfiction. It's, like, critical nonfiction. I don't know what genre this belongs into, but whatever it is, just read it. Just read it. It's only, like, barely over 100 pages. It is so fantastic. I already got one other person to read it, and it's... I love it so much. I cannot recommend it enough. Okay, now we're getting on to the physical copy books. Now, anyway, I'm going to be showing off 2 books that are technically in my haul, because the rest of this video is technically going to be a haul. But first, whatever, I'm just going to get into it. The first book that I have that I own is Yukio Mishima's Confessions of a Mask. This... If it wasn't for Middlesex by Jeffrey Eugenides, oh yeah, the first 2 I've already read, but, which is this one. But this was phenomenal. And if it wasn't for Middlesex by Jeffrey Eugenides, this would be my favorite LGBTQ book of all time. It goes into the psychology and the way the mind works of a homosexual man living in the conditions that he does live in. That probably is very... There's a lot of grammatical errors in that last sentence, so I'm not the greatest speaker, but Yukio Mishima is one of my all-time favorites now, and it's really this book that sparked me to realize that he's a true genius. Even though he hasn't grabbed 5 out of 5 for me yet, this is still one of the greatest LGBTQ books I've ever read, hands down. And this is one of the greatest books I've read, period. Like, this would appear in the top 100 books I've ever read. I'm not even joking. This is truly phenomenal. And Yukio Mishima just has a very simplistic language to him, but at the same time, he explores ideas with such depth to it. So it's not just reading, like, standard words on a standard page. The ideas and the thought process of Kochan, who's our main character, really come to life in here. And it's a phenomenal story about the homosexuality of Kochan, and just like how he is forced to think that homosexuality is bad. But it is so fantastic, so psychologically developed. If I was to describe this book in just 2 words, it would be psychologically developed. It knows what it's doing, and I applaud with that. And this was written in like 1949, I think, so it gets even more props for that. So it was just phenomenal, guys. Mishima's one of my favorites for a reason. I cannot recommend this book enough. Alright, the next book I have conflicting views with, because I like this book, but at the same time, I don't like this author. And that is Lucky by Alice Sebold. This is a memoir about Alice Sebold's experience with, she was raped and beaten in a park in, like, I think Syracuse University? I don't know. I should know, I read the book, but, it was very well done. It was very well, it was another kind of psychologically developed book. You do get in the mindset of Alice Sebold, but I just don't think Alice Sebold's that great of a writer. I really enjoyed the narrative that she told and the people that surround it, and just how dark it gets. That's what I liked about this book. What I didn't like about this book was how it was written. And even then, this is hands down her best book. I read the Lovely Bones, which is like her most famous book. It's a great novel. I hated The Lovely Bones, guys. I hated that book so much. The Lovely Bones was just bad, but this was good. So, and I heard the worst things about her other book. What was it? The Almost Moon? Yeah, that's it. But that's supposed to be like a catastrophe on ice. But anyway, Alice Sebold, I just felt like her passion towards this topic got really down. Like, it just disappeared by the end of this book. Like, if I was to just, like, I barely recognize the ending of this book. Like, the beginning and the middle were fantastic, but then the ending was just like, really? That's how you're gonna end it? Like, this is real life. This is your life story. Well, not really the life story, but this is like a moment in your life, and you don't write it well. I don't know. That's probably me being selfish as a reader, but Lucky I don't like Alice Sebold as a writer, and this was good. I do recommend it if this is your thing, but if you have similar tastes like me, even though I kind of like this, I would not recommend Alice Sebold. Even though this was good, it is a skippable type of good. You won't die if you miss it. Do you guys hear that? There's like a motorcycle outside. Vroom, 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 vroom. Anyway, the next book that I have is what I'm currently reading right now, and this is the only book in the pile that I don't own. But it's from the library, and it's Junichiro Tanazaki's Some Prefer Nettles. I don't know what that means. I think nettles is like on evergreen trees, like those like pointy things. I think that's what nettles is. And I'm already 100 pages into this book. I have no idea what the title means, but it's an okay book. I like it. It's nothing, like, at first I was not liking it, but then it just became a lot, I got comfortable with Tanazaki's writing, and his, I'm thinking Tanazaki is a man. I'm really sure Tanazaki's a guy, but this is good so far. I'm actually surprised by how much I'm enjoying this because of how bad of reviews it has on Goodreads. I mean, it's not horrible, but it's still like 3.6 average over like 2,000 ratings, so not the best. But I'm really enjoying this. I'm not really enjoying this. Like, I'm enjoying this. That's how much I can say about this book. I like the characters. I like Tanazaki's writing. It's just the story has been seen before. This is not even during when it was written. I think this was written all the way back in like 1930 or something. And let me check. Literally, it's right here. His bibliography's right here. Why can't I see it? Anyway, I think it was I think it was made in like 1930. But anyway, some prefer Nettles. It's fine so far. I like it. And we have a big pile of books right here. So let's get started with Kazuo Ishiguro, When We Were Orphans. Oh man, I love Kazuo Ishiguro. But the last Ishiguro book that I read really disappointed me. Really, really, really disappointed me. And that was Nocturnes, like that 5-story collection of musical elegance, or whatever the subtitle was. I didn't like that book at all. Like, I did not like that book at all, but The Remains of the Day and Never Let Me Go are two of my favorite books of all time. And if there's just one more Kazuo Ishiguro book that I like, he's going on my favorites list. So, hopefully this is it. I haven't heard that great of things about it, so if I don't like this, and I'm going to be reading The Artist in a Floating World next, which I've heard is like his third best novel behind Never Let Me Go and The Remains of the Day. So, hopefully I said that title right. Hold on. I don't know. But anyway, this sounds interesting. It's about some detective in England and his connections in like Shanghai. Yeah, Shanghai. It sounds good. That's all I have to say. Alright, this next title absolutely cracks me up because it's so confident that it's gonna be good that I'm excited to read it. And it's called, and I absolutely am not kidding, A Heartbreaking Work of Staggering Genius by Dave Edgars. Oh, Dave Edgars, you're so confident in your memoir. And it's a chunky memoir as well. Like, memoirs are not usually the longest things in the world. Maybe I've been reading just shorter memoirs, but this is like 450 pages. And it's like, and it's a memoir. I don't think I've ever seen a memoir that's captured my interest be this long. So, I'm excited to read this. Hopefully it doesn't, like, backfire and really slow down in pace, but, I think I'll like it. It's like some about like some like his relationship with like his brother or something. I don't know. I just picked it up because I've heard of Dave Edgars and I heard he was good. So yeah. Whew, man. Okay, so the next book. I'm sorry I don't remember your name, but somebody in one of my latest videos commented that they're oh, it was in my top 10 favorites of 2016. And one person said that their favorite book of all time was this. And then I was like, oh yeah, I heard of that book. I heard it's really good. And I knew it was really long, but not this long. And it's Ken Follett, The Pillars of the Earth. I've heard this book is absolutely phenomenal. It's just, I don't think we're going to get to it anytime soon because of how big it is. So, yeah, Ken Follett, I've heard really good things about this author, and this is a series! I just remembered that. This is a trilogy, I think. So, 3 900-page books. I'm ready. And then the last book is probably the book that's intimidated me the most, even though it's by one of my personal favorite authors, and it is The Brothers Karamazov by Fyodor Dostoevsky in this really nice hardcover edition. Dostoevsky, I cannot express my absolute marvel, I marvel at this man's ability to write. Crime and Punishment is one of the greatest books I've ever read in my entire life, but when I tried out The Brothers Karamazov at first, it confused me, which is rare in a book. Like, normally I can, stand with the book, can read it without being confused, but I was just confused by The Brothers Karamazov. Maybe I was just in the wrong set of mind when I was reading this, because I've heard this is a really challenging book, but I didn't know it was this challenging. So, I don't know, I'll get back to it soon, and hopefully I love it, because I've heard it's one of the greatest books ever written, so yeah, The Brothers Karamazov. I hope I enjoy it. So that was the video, you guys, and I think I hear that motorcycle again. Vroom vroom. Now anyway, comment down below what you guys thought of the video, and as always, I'm Mega Man Chief Fan, and I'll see you later, guys.